Hey guys, today I'm going to be talking about why Yamaha's new rotary concept might be a complete failure. So the first thing I'm going to do as I get into this video is talk about what made Yamaha's last two rotary cars, the RX-8 and the RX-7, go completely out of production. So as soon as I start this, I'd like to say that I am in no means against rotary cars. I actually love rotary cars. I almost bought one recently. But there is a lot of drawbacks to them and also a lot of advantages to them that I'm going to talk about in this video today. Of course, I'm going to start with the disadvantages because these are the things that might hold the new RX Vision concept back. So that's what I'm going to start with. So the first thing that really set back Mazda's last two rotary cars, the RX-7 and the RX-8, had to be the reliability issues. Now, of course, a lot of people will say that the reason that the RX-7 and RX-8 were known as unreliable cars is because a lot of the owners don't know how to drive/maintain a rotary car compared to a piston car. And that's probably mostly true. But there are a few problems that have to be discussed. In order for combustion to work properly, in the rotor housing, there has to be seals on every corner of the triangular rotor going around in the housing. Those seals get worn out and start going out at about 80,000 miles, which is why you hear those 80,000 miles, your motor's gonna crap out, yeah, all the time. That can be true, but it's not necessarily always true. So that's the first thing, is that the seals aren't really that good, and if you don't take care of your engine, the seals go out a lot faster, and yeah. And the next problem comes from how Mazda tried to fix the first problem. They tried to fix it by injecting oil into the rotor housing in order to try to lubricate the rotor and make the seals last longer, which makes it burn oil by design. So the car absolutely drinks oil completely, and it's not necessarily the best design. Because of the design of the rotary engine, it's always a lot hotter on one particular side, because that's always where the combustion will happen, and that's always where it goes out through the exhaust. So because of that, the temperatures are extremely uneven, which can cause a lot of problems. So as you know, in most states, if not all states, I'm not really sure, it's not legal to not have a catalytic converter on your car. So catless cars are not legal. This is especially the case with the RX-8. You'll constantly hear tons of stories about RX-8s not passing the state inspection because they don't have a catalytic converter. The thing about the rotary cars is that they let a lot of unburnt gasoline get into the exhaust, so then the catalytic converter is doing a lot of work. And even though it tries, it can't clean up everything, which is why you often see rotary cars spitting flames all the time. And not only that, the fuel mileage for the size of the engines is horrible. Now for the Mazda RX-8 all the way from 2004 to as recent as 2011 when they discontinued it, I believe had a combined average of about 18 miles to the gallon with a 1.3 liter engine. So most of the things that I referred to were the 13B Renesis engine that's in the RX-8, but they also apply to the RX-7 in a couple different ways. Another bad thing about the rotary engine is that when you start it, it actually runs extremely rich. This means that you cannot turn it off when it is cold. You have to let it warm up, otherwise your engine will flood, and that is an extremely difficult scenario to deal with, especially if you're in the middle of nowhere just sitting on the side of the road and have no cell phone service. Well, you're screwed and you're gonna get eaten by coyotes. Eat by coyotes? Never mind, just forget I said that. But this is especially a problem if you have valet parkers where you live, because if you give it to them and they don't let it warm up and they stall it or something, then it's going to be stuck there for quite a while and you're not going to have your car for a decent amount of time. Out of commission, bye-bye. In a lot of people's opinion, that's probably the biggest problem with the rotary engine, is that if you stall it, then it floods and they run like crap even if you get them running after that. So it's a lot of work, and if you're going to get it done professionally, you're going to have to go to a dealer and it's going to cost a lot of money. So that is quite a problem. Even though I bash the rotary engine a lot, it is true that they do a lot of things very well though, so now I'm going to go and get into what they do really well. First things first, because of the design, there's so few moving parts and it's always going the same direction, that rotary engines rev extremely smoothly and extremely high. The RX-8, because it's naturally aspirated, actually has a red line of 9,000 RPMs and will actually surpass that to 9,500 RPMs. That's more than a Lexus LFA. And a lot of us know that a Lexus LFA is a little bit high-pitched. So that's one thing that they actually do really, really well. Also, the power band is really dramatic because of that. They do have little to no low-end torque, so you have to really rev them out. So when you have an extremely dramatic power band like that, fun kind of comes with the territory because they're revving so high, but kind of slowly, and a lot of people say that you can really feel it kick in almost like a VTEC, except for it's closer to 7,000 RPMs. In fact, you don't reach the max amount of power until 8,500 RPMs, which is one of the reasons why the automatic RX-8 and RX-7 make a lot less power. Another thing they do really well is the sound. They sound pretty much like nothing else. It's pretty cool. I mean, it almost reminds me of a motorcycle. Just take a listen. Another thing that will please many enthusiasts is that the harder you drive them generally, the better they run. Now for a piston engine, it's generally the opposite. You ease into it, you're very slow, and it'll run a lot longer. For an RX-8, an RX-7, or any other rotary, the more you rev them out, it keeps carbon buildup from building up in the rotors and in the rotor housing, and so that actually makes it run for longer. So a red line a day keeps the doctor away. So because of all these things kind of combined, will Mazda's new RX Vision concept be any good? Now it should be stated that they said when they were designing it that a team of experts was designing a new type of rotary, or enthusiastically working on a new type of rotary, something like that. So if they can somehow get rid of all these problems with the other rotaries, such as the flooding and the burning oil and gas, then they could have a serious winner on their hands. You see, the people that run Mazda, they're not stupid. They got rid of the most recent rotary car, the RX-8, back in 2011, because he was selling about as well as a bobsleigh in Texas. So they got rid of it because of that reason. So if they're bringing out a new type of rotary car, and they actually expect people might buy it, then they may have fixed quite a few of the problems. The problems with especially the RX-8 before was they tried to make it like an everyday sports car with, you know, the suicide doors and something that will make it available for the average person, cheap, but yet it can still be really fun. But the problem was that the rotary was not the right engine for that car. The RX-7 got it right, but unfortunately the RX-8 not so much. Now if you look at this concept, it's two-door, it's sleek, it looks a lot more like an RX-7 than an RX-8, and I think they're going more for just a straight-up sports car design now. So if they can nail this, then they can definitely have a winner on their hands. It might sell really well. It just depends on how well they can fix the rotary thing. Back when the RX-8 came out again, they said that they were not going to put any regular piston engine or something in their RX cars. All their RX cars were going to be rotaries, which was fairly daring and kind of failed. But hopefully they can nail it in this one, and then we'll see how awesome it's going to be. Anyway, make sure to leave what you think and how well you think this car will do. And thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys later.